Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Gracie, and I just kind of wanted to talk about, I just moved back home from the summer and I'm about to go move into my apartments to get ready for recruitment. And so I thought since it's coming up so soon, I would give my 2 cents on it. I don't know about any other schools, but I know at OU, we are starting pretty soon. And so I kind of just wanted to give you a little rundown of what it's going to look like as someone who's been through it and what to expect, because I'm someone that likes to plan, and so I want to know what it's going to be like. And then I have a few, I feel like I was really good at asking questions and getting what I needed out of the people I was speaking to, so I'll give you a little bit of that too. Anyway, let's get started. So it's only 5 days. So the first 2 rounds are open house. I'm sure you already know this at this point, but I'm just gonna debrief a little bit. The first 2 rounds are open house, where you go to every single house, and those are the only rounds you're gonna go to every single house at, unless you get invited back. But so those are the only 2 you're gonna go to all the houses, and you're gonna split it. So there's 13 houses. You're gonna go do 6 one day, 7 the next, or vice versa. And they don't care about if you have time to get there. So you are probably gonna have to run, and unfortunately North and South Greek are across from each other. So it's gonna be a little bit of a trek for you, but you can do it. I did it, and I don't like to run, and it was hot, and I don't like sweating, but I did it, and I actually didn't hate it. So if I can do it, you can do it. But I wanted to give you, for open house, they give you t-shirts, I don't know why I'm pointing to this. They don't give you Taylor Swift t-shirts, but they give you t-shirts to wear, because it's like the whole, not everyone has enough money to rush, whatever, so whatever. So they give you t-shirts where you're gonna have 2 t-shirts to wear for 4 days, which kind of is stupid, but I digress. And you'll probably alternate them. They'll tell you which shirt to wear each day, but then obviously you've bought your stuff to match with the t-shirts, hopefully. But so I just want to show you what I wore for open house. So first day at open house, I wore this one with just some black sandals. And then second day of open house, I wore this one with also black sandals, I'm pretty sure. And it was perfect. It was great. Highly recommend just a skirt if you haven't gotten stuff yet, if you're still looking. I know I did it last minute. Just a cute skirt that will match your shirts. Like, all you need is a skirt. That's it. I know they care about clothes. I know they do. But it doesn't mean that much, to the point where it's like, oh, I'm not gonna, whatever. You'll be fine. Okay, so that's open house. And that is strictly just getting to know you. Hey, what's your name? What's your major? What are you looking forward to at OU? Like, stuff like that. But it's also that's still showing them parts of you, just not on a super deep level, It's like, oh, she's really driven in her education. Is that something that matches our sorority values? Stuff like that. That's how they kind of feel you out. It's not going to be super deep conversation, and they don't want to make it super deep conversation because they don't know for sure if you're coming back. It's super surface level. You can try to make it super deep if you want to, but they're going to steer the conversation away from that for the most part. And that happens the first 2 days. It's literally the exact same thing, back to back. That's it. That's when you'll see the most houses. That's the most exhausting days because you're going to all of them. But then after that, it gets more fun, okay? So next is philanthropy. And philanthropy is just all the houses that you got invited back to that they just share what organization they raise money for. And they're going to give you some presentations, or you'll probably see some videos and stuff. But this is kind of like you're going to see their values more. I love working with philanthropies. I am very philanthropic. I love nonprofits to work with. And so that day was really important to me because I wanted to choose a sorority that was donating to a good cause, that really resonated with me, and that I felt like did a lot of community service work, because that's really important to me. And so that's I got to see some of that too. And that was really nice. That one's more that's when you can kind of grill them on what kind of community service they do. I remember being like, how involved is your chapter with your organization? How often do you guys get to go like face to face with the organization? Like, are you more separated? Is it more, are you guys closely together, like interacting? Those kinds of things. That's kind of what that is. And then they're going to also feel out what your kind of vibe is. Some sororities are really big on community service and they love that. Some of them not so much. So they're going to kind of get that vibe going. And then I'm pretty sure for that one, I don't remember which shirt I wore, but I'm pretty sure I wore this skirt. Just a basic red one with ruffles. That's literally all, like OU colors, because the shirts are going to be OU colors, unfortunately. Not that OU colors aren't cute, but for recruitment, they're not the cutest, okay? And then the next day is my favorite day, sisterhood, when you get to go take tours of the houses and you kind of get to see their interpersonal values that aren't just, you know, community service. They have their community service values and then they have their sisterhood values. And so you see those separately. Sisterhood, you get to hear like real testimonies from girls of like how they feel like they've connected with their sorority and how their sisters are like, how they interact and what the sorority does to make sure that they get to know each other really well and get to form those connections. I love that day. I love hearing people talk about their friends. I loved hearing their thoughts on what each sorority did to really help them. And that day's just really fun. I mean, you get to see the houses. So like, you get to see more of it. For the most part, they keep you in one small section for all the other days. And so this day you get to go through the entire house and see it. It's so fun. And like, that's important too, because you're going to be living there for a year. So you want to see that because you're going to be living there. So you want to like it. I mean, like, I'm not going to say that it's more important than the sorority's values, but it's an important part. And then for that one, my favorite skirt that I wore, this is like the coolest thing that I bought ever. So this skirt, but it's a skirt. It's shorts. How cute is this? Like, I would wear this again. Like, it's actually so cute. So I wore that. And I mean, I wore jewelry and stuff. I did my hair cute, but for the most part, like, I would just straighten it or curl it, and like, that was it. Anyway, so that's sisterhood. And then pref, so fun. I'll put a picture right here of my pref dress and like heels and stuff. Now, it's not going to be from the day of pref. I wore the entire outfit to one of our date parties, so ignore the fascinator, but the dress and the shoes were the same thing. This is more like cocktail vibes, super, it's like kind of flu, I mean, whatever. But this day is when they are literally like, they're like, we want you, we are pulling for you, we need to have her in our sorority. And it honestly is like, it makes me feel really good because they're like really trying to win you over, and they just talk about how much they loved getting to know you during the week. You'll probably talk to a girl you've already talked to before because they want that girl to get you to come to the sorority. So probably someone that you connected with the most is probably the person that you will be talking to, because she'll know that too. And this one is super formal. It's very professional and not as loud. I guess that's the only way I know how to put it. Like, it's so loud every other day, but this day is like super chill, very professional. And they'll give you sweet testimonies, and they'll probably sing you songs, and they'll probably give you a note of some sort. And yeah, that's when they're gonna really tug on your heartstrings and try to pull you. And then immediately after that is when you go put in your pref and turn it in, and then you wait until the next day, until bid day. You have to wait for quite a little bit. I am so sorry. I know that's so annoying, but you wait for bid day, or you wait during the day, and then your rogies will come knock on your door and give you your bids. And then you guys find out, you get your t-shirt to wear. It's so fun. But yeah, so that's the rush process. That's how it goes. The first 4 days are going to be early mornings. Pref is in the evening, which is nice. And then bid day is like midday. That's everything I wore for those. My biggest advice I can give you for going through recruitment is to go in with an open mind, okay? You can go in thinking you know what sorority you want to be in, and that's fine. Like, I'm sure you know people that are in that sorority, or you've heard good things about them, and that's fine. But you have got to give all the other houses a fighting chance, because at the end of the day, you don't know what it's like. You don't know if they're going to fit with your values. And so you really need to be open to everyone, because there's a chance that someone could surprise you. There's a chance that one of the houses could surprise you, and you're gonna be thrown off guard, and you're gonna be like, wait, I wasn't expecting this at all. Or the house that you want could disappoint you, unfortunately, and you're like, oh crap, what do I do now? Do not put all your eggs in one basket. Do not invest all your feelings, I guess, about houses towards just one until you've been and you see them for who they are. Because at the end of the day, the girls are cycling through, and so it could be different from when, your mom was a tri-delt at you. Like, it could be different. Just keep that in mind. I'll tell you a little bit about my rush experience. I loved recruitment. I would do it again in a heartbeat. As like a rushie, I would totally go through it again. I had so much fun, and I think this is the reason why, is because I have no family that has ever rushed before. None of my family was ever in a sorority, so I had no bias. I didn't even hardly have older friends who had gone through it. Like, my best friend, she rushed at OSU, and that was it. That was the only thing I had going for me. And she's at OSU, and like, obviously the houses are different. And so I had no idea. So I truly was going in blind. I had heard a little bit about the houses here and there, but I really didn't know much. And that was honestly the best thing that could have ever happened to me, because I got to fully form my own opinions about each house. There was no preconceived notion. There was no one telling me what to think about them. It was strictly me and what I thought and how I felt. And it was so great. And I just looked at it, going into recruitment, I just looked at it as, I'm gonna make new friends. Like, that was literally it. Like, it was like, I am going to make new friends this week, and I am so excited. And so I just get to go talk to them in the hopes that they're gonna be my friend. And I feel like that was the best thing I could have done, because I was not hardly nervous at all to go do any of the days, because I was like, I'm just meeting new people, and I'm gonna have so much fun because I'm meeting new people. This is giving me a leg up, because I'm gonna know people at OU now, because I've met so many girls through these houses. That really was the best thing I could have done. I talked to some people who had a really hard time with recruitment, and it was really stressful for them, and they didn't do that same kind of stuff where they kind of went in open-minded. And so I really do think if you can do that, if you can get yourself to do that, it will be so beneficial for you. It'll make you a lot happier, and it will be a lot less stressful for you if you can just, it's like, if you can go in open-minded and give everyone a fair shot and be your true authentic self, because that's really important. Do not try to put on a facade or anything like that going into these houses, because that's a fake you, and you want to be yourself. Obviously you want to be your, professional self, because you're basically selling yourself to these people. As long as you're doing all that, you're going to end up exactly where you're meant to be. And I feel like that's super promising. How great is it to know that if you can go in open-minded and be yourself, you're going to end up surrounded by people just like you, no matter what. That's so great. Honestly, if you can do that, I really think you'll have a great time going through recruitment. And I'm gonna leave you with one final little reminder, I guess. These girls are probably more nervous than you, because this is like a big deal. And they are putting their best faces on that fit the mold of their sorority. So not all of them, they all fit their sorority one way or another, but they're not all the same. But when you go through recruitment, you're going to think that they are. And so I think that's really important to know and to realize and recognize, is that they're not all the same, and they all are putting their very best faces on because they want to be super professional, so that you choose them. And so that's really important to know, because it can be kind of jarring to go from recruitment and then go to bid day and see them unmasked now that you're there. And so I just think that's really important to remember and recognize, because I was like, whoa, I mean, I love my sorority. I loved what I rushed, but it can be a little bit like, hey, you guys are not acting like I remember you acting. But again, that's because everyone's putting on their best face, which there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to remember. And then my other piece of advice would be to ask as many questions as you can. Ask the person that's rushing you, ask them about their thoughts on their sorority and their involvement on it and things like that, and ask them about the sorority itself as a whole. You want to make sure to separate those two and be able to get a well-rounded answers out of your girls in regards to both of those. So, because that's gonna be really important. You also want to know what your values are going into it and what you want out of that house, so that kind of make a list beforehand and know what you're looking for, so that you know what to ask. It's really easy to know what to ask when you know what you're looking for. So for me, it was obviously we all want a tight-knit group of girls to be around. So I wanted that, and so I asked things like, how does your sorority make sure that you guys get really close? What do they do to make sure that that happens for you guys? Is it easy to be around those girls? Because obviously you're not living with them until sophomore year. So freshman year, is it easy to be around them? Did they make it super easily accessible? Things like that. I also knew that I wanted to be involved with the philanthropy and a lot of community service. So it's do you guys host a lot of philanthropy events? Do you guys go and volunteer at your philanthropy? If not at your philanthropy, then do you go volunteer at other places? Things like that, because I knew that was really important to me. Academics. So does your sorority put a big emphasis on academics and making sure that you guys are taken care of that way? Study times, stuff like that. If they do that, if they find academics even really important, if that's one of their big important things. And then I would say the last thing was I really wanted to make sure I could get involved within whatever sorority I ended up pledging. And so I made sure to ask, do you guys have a lot of leadership positions for people to hold? Do a lot of people hold those positions? What's that time frame look like for people to, try to hold those positions? Things like that. Know what you want, and then the questions will come really easily. I'm gonna leave you at that. Hopefully I'll see some of you at recruitment. I'm so excited. I wish you the best of luck. You're gonna do so great. Just be yourself. I know everyone says be yourself, but truly be yourself. That's all anyone can ask of you. And yeah, I hope this helped. If you're someone going to OU and you're about to go through recruitment, don't hesitate to comment any questions. I will respond to them. I want to help you out as much as possible. I want you to feel super comfortable going into it, and I want you to feel like you know what's going on, because this is really hard because you don't know what's going on, which kind of sucks. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you with that. If you liked this video, if it was super helpful, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm gonna be talking more about college and recruitment stuff throughout this month and probably through August as well, just because I know this is a really hard transition for you guys, as someone who went through it last year. And so I want to make sure that if I can help you out in any way possible, that I do that. So with that being said, I'll leave you at that. I'll see you during recruitment, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.